In this video, I'll showcase you the fastest way to get Rukia, the new Vanguard in anime Vanguards, what is the most optimal way to farm the event currency to buy out the shop and get the new Memoria familiars. Alright guys, I did some tests to see what is the best way to farm the event so far. As you can see, I currently have 124,000 presents. And if you look here, I literally already summoned like 500 summons here. And I did a little bit here, which you will need more presents this time. So this time you need to hit the pity most likely on the summon for the unit and the Memoria now, which seems to be like a must-have as far as I understand. Because it's like basically having a good familiar that you want to keep with you. But if we go to the event and you click create, there's two modes. You can have a regular mode or the infinite mode. So far, infinite mode is doable and more AFKable. With my run, it took around an hour and 20 minutes before I died. And I pretty much ran out of buttons. I could have kept like clicked a couple more nukes that I had from Whitebeard and stuff. But overall, I've made 120,000 presents in an hour and 20 minutes. So it's not bad. It's not bad. You need around 3 million, I think, of worth of presents to get guaranteed Rukia. So it'll take you around, I'd say 24 hours full AFKing. It will be enough because of the kickback that you get selling the units. But on top of it, don't forget, you will also need to buy out the winter shop. You need to get the evolving materials, trait rerolls, and the green essences. And on top of it, now we need Memoria shards. So I think running regular mode is more fun and it gives you more of a boost of items because you can actually have a boost on your currency. Otherwise you can't have on a infinite mode because there's no skins, there's no boost that comes with doing a regular infinite mode. Before we start as well, I do want to put in the codes that we got. There's some decent codes this time actually. We've got a winter 26, which we get 4,500 presents, 50 trait rerolls, and 25 stat chips. Then the code Memoria, we get 50 trait rerolls for that, another currency and a bit stat chips. It's cold. Okay, that's not bad. Another 20 trait rerolls and 20 Memoria shards. And then this is the last and the biggest code that we get is almost 100k. We get 100 trait rerolls and 800 Memoria shards, which is massive. Like I said, infinite mode, nothing special about it. It's just a straight line. You just set up your units, auto farm, upgrade them, run for an hour 20 and until you lose. All right, so with this run, like you can already tell, it's not a basic infinite run and it's not something you can just really AFK, but we're gonna start with this. I kind of know what to do now. At first I was kind of just testing it. What we want to do is we want to collect farms, as many as we want, or as many as we can get. We want to get this farm, we want to get Takurata, and we want to get Anami. So we want to get all the farms to generate the most amount of money we can. All right, so I got my 3 farms placed. I'm gonna get a unit ideally, so it's just there to kind of push them away. This unit right here is Ice Admiral. I think this is Akoichi as far as I remember. I always forget his name. I always mix them up with the red guy, with the magma guy, but I'm gonna grab him just so he can push the unit back so my barricades don't get damaged too much, because his damage is more than enough on placement. They only have like 3k HP. All right, I have enough now to buy this farm, which is nice. We're just gonna place it. He's gonna be generating a good amount of money for us. And then next I want to get Nami, which is the most expensive farm in here, 10,000. And then we can actually start progressing in the game mode. I got the Nami, place her here because she gives you some kind of boosts. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Later on, it's not even going to be the focus point, but I'll just place her there. So now the most important thing, if you can see, kind of my camera is kind of blocking right now, but if you look at the bottom of the left screen, there's a bonus currency that you can get. You currently get 60%, but you can get bonuses. And as far as I understand, the bonuses come from opening extra lanes. Look right here. You can make the game mode harder by opening 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 right here. You can get 6, 7 lanes open in the game, which will give you boost of currency. The more you open, the harder the game gets. The more money you make, the more currency you make. Alright guys, in the middle of the run, I realized there's a more optimal positioning for the units. So I decided to restart the run. Even though it was still giving me a lot of tokens, I decided to still do it the more optimal way. And after actually doing multiple runs, I still would suggest doing the infinite run. It is so much more easier. You just put an auto setting and let it run. Alright guys, try number 2. Let's see if this is gonna be peak run with the best way to actually run this, which I think it will. In my opinion, I think now that I think about it, I don't know why I didn't notice that right away. It's kind of dumb. but I feel like this is just the move. I will not spend my time like boring you guys with all the farm placements and stuff. But I will show how I started the setup, I guess, so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna do the 3 farms. I'll buy this cheap unit for 500 and then place her like right here so they don't get through my barricade right away. I don't really care about them, but you know, having a unit there is nice. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna show you guys, but I did my mystery box and the first thing I get is Eins, man. What are the odds? So I'm gonna, like I said, place my Eins back in the corner so it can focus the units from all the lanes once they come here. Okay, I finally have my Nami now. I'm gonna place my Nami somewhere around here. And this is where the boring part starts. Now I just need to save up enough money to actually be able to summon for all the units and get all the upgrades again, which is not bad. I don't hate it. It's just, you know, it takes up a bit of time. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying this so far. This is a lot better than a regular infinite where you just place the units in the same spot back to back. And you know, don't listen to this guy. It is fun for the first 2 runs, but not any longer. Something on auto where I don't need to be present, right? I will 1,000,000% doing the auto run still, the infinite mode, because it's so much easier to auto. Like, you don't need to run around the map, you don't need to repair stuff, you don't need to like buy stuff. Okay, finally we got our Escanor, and now I'm just missing one more. Okay, wait, but then I wonder who else can I get from the summons, you know? Escanor, Eins, maybe I can also get Dio, maybe I can get like any unit that I owe. I'm not sure, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure. But you do kind of want to open the lanes as soon as possible, due to the fact that you want to make more money. Like, every time you get the bonus currency, you want to have the bonus currency activated by then, so you're not missing out on more money. Which is why I'm going to open lane left and right here, lane 2 and 3, which will give me 20% boost already. Alright guys, so I'm kind of at stage wave 80 right now, and basically I've got another Rukia. I'm pretty sure you can have 3 of them, but what I did is I set up all my units here and then some in the back. I'm going to add more units. I have like 300k right now, but adding more units in the back here will help clean up anybody bouncing from the barricades, because the main issue on this run is them having insane speed. Look at how fast they are. So if you don't have anybody who slows, they're just gonna run through you like this and keep going. And like, bosses currently have 50 million HP, so I would suggest having somebody who slows. If you're like getting Eins, for example, maybe bringing Dio or Shanks who has like consistent stun would be nice. But otherwise, I think this is the best way to play it. Set them up in the back, open all of the lanes as soon as you're able to beat them, and that's about it. If you want to AFK it, just run the AFK. In 1 hour I got like 127,000 here. Not an hour, in an hour 20 here. I think I'll get the same amount in like an hour of a run, so you still get like 30-40% more, but it just requires more work. So pick whatever you want. I probably will AFK it. I do enjoy doing this, you know, but the fact that it takes an hour is just so long. So I think I'll probably from now on will start auto running it, but pick whatever you want, do whichever one you like. The one thing I dislike the most here is the fact that you can get the units they already have maxed out. So I just feel like they should fix that. It shouldn't be a thing. I feel like if you maxed out the units, you shouldn't be able to get them. As you can see, I just spent 200,000 without getting a Kaguya, and I wanted to get a Kaguya. And I can't buy any other unit, to be fair. I already have all of them monarched. I have all of them max upgraded. I didn't really care about these units. I mean, I will start upgrading them now, since I can't really upgrade anyone else. But to be fair, I prefer getting a Kaguya, but once again, I just can't get her for some reason. It's just impossible. Alright guys, and while I was running this, I just want to make a kind of conclusion for this. Make sure to just run the infinite. It is so much easier. Just press the auto run in the infinite, put it there, and you'll be done so much faster with this farm, because doing this game mode is fun for the few times, but it's just way too long. Running it for hours is just really boring.